Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. It's your host Ryan, and today we are doing another top 5 best matches, and we're going for CM Punk in the WWE. So not his Ring of Honor stuff, not his AEW stuff, just solely WWE. As you all know, CM Punk returned to the WWE last night at Survivor Series War Games in Chicago. After it being rumoured for a while, after he was fired from AEW, CM Punk has returned to the WWE for the first time in nearly 10 years. So with that happening, I thought, well, obviously I'm going to do a video about CM Punk, because everyone's doing videos on CM Punk. But I thought everyone's doing videos talking about CM Punk going back to the WWE, people giving their opinions on CM Punk going back to the WWE after him being fired from AEW and this, that and the other. And I thought, you know what, I remember when I posted the video saying you get to choose some of the top 5 videos that are coming up. I remembered Scott had suggested CM Punk. So Scott, thank you for the suggestion. It falls hand in hand, obviously, perfect timing with Punk then returns to WWE. I thought, why not, instead of doing what everyone else does and me sit here saying, oh, Punk this, Punk that, to do with, leaving AEW and the way he left AEW, then when he left WWE years ago and then come back, I thought, why not, instead of doing that, just talk about his top 5 matches within WWE. So that's what we're going to do. So, as always, give me a comment. Let me know what your top 5 CM Punk matches are in the WWE. If you'd like to comment and let me know your thoughts and feelings about Punk returning to WWE even, that's fine. Leave us comments. I'm not going to do that on this video because I feel like literally every other video on YouTube right now will be doing the same. And obviously, on the Wrestling Group, we like to try and be a little bit different. So, that's what we're going with. So I messaged David this morning, David Anderson, who obviously does all my images for my top 5 and my rankings videos. And I messaged him this morning, I was like, any chance you can set me up with top 5 CM Punk matches in WWE? And he was like, I thought this one was going to come. I had the feeling. So anyway, within a few hours, he sorted me out with a boss image, and I can't thank him enough for the speedy and his brilliant work as well. It's always good. So thank you to David, and thank you to Scott for suggesting this video. So I hope you'll enjoy my rundown of CM Punk's top 5 matches within the WWE. So we're going to start at number 5 and go down to 1 as always. So number 5, we've got CM Punk versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. Now, after Punk dropped his WWE Championship to The Rock to set up Cena vs. Rock 2, which obviously, as we all know, not many people are a fan of Punk dropping the belt to the Rock on his return. Obviously it set up, like I say, Cena Rock 2, even though it was supposed to be once in a lifetime. And let's face it, neither of them guys needed the belt to set up a second match. But CM Punk then faced The Undertaker to try to end the streak, because the streak was still a thing at the time. It was 20-0. We've gone 20 matches undefeated at WrestleMania, and a lot of people, if you weren't vying for the big belt, you wanted to be facing The Undertaker to try and stop his streak. This was back when Paul Heyman was with CM Punk, and they had gained possession of The Undertaker's urn. A really good match. That for me was better, to be honest, than expected. If you haven't yet, you can always go back and watch my Undertaker at WrestleMania rankings list. So I've done every single match. That was my first rankings video I did. Every single match of The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and I've ranked them from best to worst. If you haven't, from worst to best. So if you haven't seen that yet, you scroll right through, go on my playlist, and you'll be able to check that one out. But this was a lot better than what I expected and what I remembered when I went back and rewatched it. Undertaker managed to hit Punk with a last ride, chokeslam, tombstone, and even locked in the Hell's Gate to try and put Punk away, but to no avail. Punk tried the GTS, the Anaconda Vice, and even hit hit Undertaker with the urn. Again, not being able to put the dead man away. Punk hit another GTS, and Taker comes off the ropes and hits him with a tombstone to get the victory and become 21-0 at WrestleMania. So obviously, if you remember, Brock Lesnar was 21-1, so CM Punk was the last guy to lose during the days of the streak to The Undertaker. Really good match, like I say, it's worth checking out on the WWE Network. If you haven't seen it, get on there, give it a watch. If you haven't seen it in a good while, again, get on there, give it a watch. It's a hell of a lot better than what I remembered, and after rewatching it, definitely deserves to be in the top 5 matches. So that is number 5. So number 4, I've gone for CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2013 in a no disqualification match. Paul Heyman had just turned on CM Punk, costing him the Money in the Bank match. Lesnar, another Paul Heyman guy, obviously, as we know, attacked Punk, leading to this no disqualification match at SummerSlam. Both tried to control the match via chair shots, submissions and signature moves. Punk came close to putting the beast away. He sent Brock into the ring post and followed it up with a GTS. But Heyman broke up the pin. Heyman being full-blown bad guy at this point. He then locks in the Anaconda Vice. Again, Heyman gets involved and stops Punk winning the match with that. Punk then attacks Heyman. He attacks Heyman, and obviously that causes the distraction, leaves him open to taking an F5, and Lesnar to pick up the victory. So 2 matches in, 2 losses, but 2 really good matches. And again, like I say, it's available on the WWE Network or Peacock or whatever it is that you watch it on. But again, another one that's definitely worth checking out. When they announced Lesnar versus Punk, I was quite excited at the time. I remember, Brock Lesnar is just the sort of guy who's an absolute animal, a monster, and obviously CM Punk is just, at that time especially, was absolutely on top of his game. So you got like Prime Punk versus Prime Lesnar, if you like. Really good match, definitely worth checking out. So we go on to number 3. This is flying through at the moment, isn't it? Daniel Bryan. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan at Over the Limit 2012. How this match was not main event, but John Cena versus John Laurinaitis is absolutely beyond me. I remember, I think I've watched the pay-per-view in full maybe twice since it happened, and I always turn it off after this match because this should have been the main event. Daniel Bryan won a Beat the Clock challenge to face CM Punk for the WWE Championship at the Over the Limit pay-per-view. The crowd in this one was pretty much split, cheering on both guys, which I always love. I think if they're good enough and you get it, I've said it before in videos past, and you can get fans cheering for both guys, I enjoy that so much. I think that's when you know that you've got 2 stars in the ring facing each other. We've seen it time and time again, especially with like CM Punk and John Cena, AJ Styles and John Cena, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. There's just so many different times where it's legit fans are cheering for both guys, and I think it always adds to the atmosphere. With more technical mat-based wrestling than we're used to seeing in WWE nowadays, Punk and Bryan, excuse me, you don't want me to see that, Punk and Bryan traded off in the ring with different holds and submissions with some good counter work and near falls. This match truly is worthy of its place on this list and is worth another check out if you haven't seen it in a while, especially some of the counters in this match. Again, it's stuff that we're not used to seeing, and it's really enjoyable. I did really enjoy rewatching this. So the finish to the match, which gained some controversy. The finish of the match, Bryan applied the Yes Lock, as it was called at the time, on Punk, but Punk managed to pin Bryan at the same time, although he was submitting too. But Punk was awarded and declared the winner, with the end having a very mixed reaction from fans. Even with the bit of a dicey finish, it's definitely still worthy of its place, and it's definitely worth another rewatch. Like you say, again available on the WWE Network. These two guys are phenomenal. Both what you'd call like original indie darlings, if you like, going into the WWE is guys that Vince doesn't normally see as being top guys, and both obviously ended up becoming top guys in the company. So a really big win in terms of that, and a really big win in terms of the match itself. The match itself was brilliant, and like I say, definitely should have been main eventing. But obviously, John Cena's involved, John Laurinaitis, I don't know why he was involved. I can't remember the storyline. But yeah, if you watch the Over Limit 2012 pay-per-view, then just stop at this match and pretend this was the main event, because that's exactly what it should have been. So number 2, we go to CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam 2009 TLC match. These two had a great feud in the summer of 2009, starting with Punk successfully cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase against Jeff Hardy to become World Heavyweight Champion. They then faced off in a series of matches, with Jeff taking the title back at Night of Champions, which then led to this match at SummerSlam. CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy is a brilliant feud. I loved it. The only thing I didn't like was some of the storyline that went with it, of Jeff's substance abuse and stuff like that. I just didn't really think that was needed. I thought it was a bit of a low blow, but what WWE do, so it's sort of expected. But yeah, these two against each other, I watch all their matches. They had the steel cage match as well on SmackDown. Some absolute brilliant matches. A trade off for the World Heavyweight title. Again, two guys that don't normally fall under what Vince sees as being, a top guy, like a Lesnar and a Cena and an Orton, if you like. So it was really enjoyable, and this is probably the best match. Well, it is the best match out of the series of matches that they had against each other. Punk and Hardy beat the absolute hell out of each other during this match, with some brutal spots and a 20-foot swanton bomb by Jeff off a ladder onto Punk through the announce table, which had fans fearing for both guys' health, but also cheering for what they just witnessed. But in the end, CM Punk was able to get the victory and regain his World Heavyweight Championship. That spot has been played many a times. You've probably seen the spot hundreds of times over the years, with Jeff coming off the top of that ladder. It was just brilliant, and the fact that CM Punk still goes on and wins the match. In fact, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correct from when I rewatched it, CM Punk ends up in the ring before Jeff, as Jeff's still getting checked on outside the ring. But again, yeah, if you want to go back and watch it, get on the WWE Network or Peacock or whatever it is that you watch WWE on. It's on there. It's absolutely worth checking out. That's why it's number 2 on my list. And like I say, to be honest with you, if I had the time, which I didn't unfortunately, but if I had the time, and I will do at some point, I'll just go back and rewatch the whole feud and rivalry between them two, all the matches that they had. Like I said again, I did rewatch the steel cage match, another great match, could have easily made the list. So that is number 2. So it takes us to number 1. And what could have been better than the TLC match against Jeff Hardy? Well, first of all, we'll run back through the top 5 down, and then we'll give you number 1. So in at number 5, CM Punk versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29, in a match CM Punk trying to break the streak. Number 4 is versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2013 in a no disqualification match. Number 3 is Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk at Over the Limit 2012 for the WWE Championship. In at number 2 is CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy, SummerSlam 2009 TLC match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So what could be number 1? CM Punk versus John Cena. Money in the Bank 2011. Now, these two facing each other, absolutely brilliant. I loved Punk and Cena. I think Punk and Cena was like the definitive rivalry for Punk in WE. That was, WE is exactly everything that, WE. John Cena is exactly everything that WWE normally wants in a guy, He's literally the poster boy for WWE, and then you've got CM Punk, this guy that should, in all reality, should never have really made it in WWE. If you look at what they normally push and who they normally push, yes, I know on the odd occasion you've had the likes of Shawn Michaels and stuff like that, but in very few have actually been able to make something out of themselves that don't look like a WWE sports entertainment star. So, Punk should never have really made it to the top, but because he's so talented, especially gifted on the microphone, Punk managed to get himself in the number one spot, and for quite some time too. So this was not long after the pipe bomb, and also during when CM Punk was threatening to leave the WWE when his contract expired and taking the WWE Championship with him. That led to this match versus John Cena, and like I said, is one of Punk's greatest rivalries in WWE for me. With numerous close calls and false finishes, this had fans absolutely on the edge of their seats throughout the match. Punk being the anti-hero and being in his hometown of Chicago definitely added some extra oh god, the way it's gone from my head. It definitely added something extra to the match. Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis decided to get involved, obviously not wanting Punk to leave with the WWE belt, the WWE Championship, with Cena applying an STF. Vince McMahon calls for the belt to be rung, similar to the old Montreal Screwjob. So Vince tells him, ring the bell, match is over. He tapped when clearly he didn't. So John Cena, obviously being a squeaky clean babyface, was like, that's not how we do stuff. I will beat him. We don't need to cheat to win. I'm not having this match ending this way. I don't want the title this way. Let's continue the match. So if that happens, he returns to the ring, eats a GTS, and loses the match. So if you'd have just gone with Vince, he could have had the heel turn that we've always wanted for John Cena, and he could have been champ. But he didn't, and he ends up taking the GTS and losing. A failed cash-in from Alberto Del Rio then takes place, again adding more excitement and enjoyment to the match, with Del Rio coming out as like the last line of Vince trying to keep the belt, or take the belt from CM Punk to keep it in the company, but that fails too. Then CM Punk jumps the barricade with the WWE title, does that, blows Vince McMahon a kiss, which is an absolute iconic picture that you'll see everywhere. You'll see on your screen as well. And then decides to go up through the crowd with the title to leave the WWE. So there you have it. That is my top 5 CM Punk matches within the WWE. Like I say, feel free to let me know if there's any matches that you think I have missed off. If there's any matches that I have put in that you don't agree with, let me know in the comments. It's always fun to have a little bit of back and forth with the fans. Like I say, CM Punk has returned to WWE. More than likely will be on WWE television at some point this week, either Raw or SmackDown, to tell us why he's there and what he's willing to do, or what he's wanting to do within the company. I will say this, I don't want to get into the ins and outs of, CM Punk was in AEW and all that, but what I'll say is, the only thing I'll say on the situation at the moment is basically CM Punk jumping ship to WWE, is something that I didn't think I'd ever see. At one point I didn't think I'd ever see CM Punk in a wrestling ring again. Then when he come back to AEW, I definitely didn't see him going back to WWE at some point. Even last night I was still saying he won't return. And then he did. So it's same as like Edge, Adam Copeland, him going over to AEW is something that I thought I'd never see. See, the thing is the internet or the wrestling fans on the internet, the dirt sheets, if you like, your Dave Meltzers of the world, your Ryan Sattons and people like that, will make you want to believe there's a ratings war and everyone's going head to head and everyone's trying to put each other out of business. Well, the simple fact is, just enjoy wrestling. Enjoy it. If you like CM Punk, watch WWE. If you don't like CM Punk, don't watch WWE. It's as simple as that. You watch what you like. I watch WWE when they put on product that I deem worthy of my time to watch. I watch AEW on a weekly, but to be honest with you, because I've had so much going on that, I get so far behind with AEW even still. I watch Impact when they put on some shows that obviously pique me interest. I think I've watched something like consecutively, I can't speak, 5 of Impact's last pay-per-views in a row. I watch the weekly shows as and when I can. I will tune in to watch the main storylines. I watch Ring of Honor again when they put on matches that I want to see. New Japan's the same, because they do the tournaments and that. There's far too much time to invest in that. If you've got the time, you're willing and able to do it, then that's great. But I'll watch all sorts of companies. There doesn't need to be a massive divide. I'll have a bit of banter and a bit of a laugh and a joke with people. But, wrestlers jumping from one company to another, do you know what all that does? Is creates more buzz, more talk, more excitement. It's like Will Ospreay coming over to AEW. Look at the amount of matches he can have now. CM Punk going to WWE. Most of the roster he's never faced before. There's so many opportunities for matches we've not seen. This is the best time to be a wrestling fan, and all that's happening at the moment is people having stupid arguments about who's got better ratings and who's doing what. WWE's beating AEW in the ratings war. 1, there's no ratings war. 2, absolutely no. If you like, I'm not going to swear, but you know what I mean? WWE's been around forever. It's a mammoth of a company. It's got millions of followers. If you talk wrestling to a non-wrestling fan, they know who John Cena is. Obviously, he's now doing acting. They know probably Roman Reigns, especially over the last 3 years. Brock Lesnar. They know these guys because they've been around forever. They've been doing stuff. If you talk to people that used to watch wrestling in the 90s, they know who Sting is. Nearly enough every person on the planet knows who Ric Flair is. So, it's the greatest time to be a wrestling fan right now, and all this does is just opens more opportunities for more matches we haven't seen yet and gives us more conversation. It just doesn't need to be people arguing about ratings, because there is no ratings war. There is absolutely no ratings war. AEW are doing enough for their for the company to be happy to keep them on the channel. They're doing enough to be able to sell tickets, to bring in these big name talents like Adam Copeland and stuff like that, Christian, once upon a time CM Punk. They're doing enough for what they want to do, and that's fine. It gives someone that doesn't want to watch WWE an alternative. WWE, well, yes, they are starting to look. They must be looking at what AEW is doing to be able to bring CM Punk in. That's my take from it. But WWE can start WrestleMania in seconds by naming no matches at all. It's built on history. The history of WWE is not going to be affected by AEW being around. So just enjoy and watch what it is that you want to watch. So I ended up going on a rant, which I didn't really want to do, but there you have it. Top 5 CM Punk matches in WWE. Like I say, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Just click the link, and you can also click it to make sure you get notifications when I drop new videos so you don't miss out. Also, thank you for Scott for picking CM Punk when I said you get to pick the next couple of top 5 videos. Scott, it was your suggestion, so I thank you for that suggestion. It was a good one. It turned out great timing, and again, thank you to David for obviously sorting me out with another phenomenal icon image to go up on YouTube. So thank you to everyone. I hope you like my new wrestling group t-shirt. Maybe one day I'll sell them. But as always, thank you for watching, and be sure to be looking out for more wrestling related content coming your way very soon.